Obviously it was a long night. Got in about 5 o'clock this morning. Probably most of us didn't sleep very well. You go into Death Valley and you get the ball on the 11-yard line at the end of the game to go up, and you can't get it done, and you just kind of replay everything. I meant when I said last night, I'm proud of the fight. We got a special group of coaches. The game didn't start off very well, and we hung in there. We kind of lapped them. We managed the clock well, kicked the field goal, came out and scored, and had a quick 10 on them, which is why I wanted to defer. I like to play that game at the end of the half. Defense was lights out. And 4th and 1 stop on the 50 early on in the game. I mean, against that team, 3 of 14 on 3rd down, goal line stand inside the 6, hold them to a field goal. Second half, I mean, they could barely move the ball. They get the ball on the 30. We hold them to a field goal. We stop them on 3rd and 1. Then we stop them in a 4-minute situation. They had a long run early where we kind of busted. They made a nice play and scored, so credit to them. But after that, guys, how hard the defense played. The corners were outstanding. Offensively, there were plays out there for sure. Penalties did hurt us, which we'll get better at. I won't make excuses, and I'll always be the one to take the blame because I'm the head coach. But you can't go backward. We had guys open. We had a few huge plays that we just missed, but we missed them. You could say that every single week. Dennis made some big plays, and he got us down to the 11. And probably the hardest part is you just would have liked to, see what we could have done if we just held on to the snap, but we didn't. But like I said, really proud of the guys, proud of this team. But I didn't come here to be close. So it doesn't matter who we play or where we play or how the odds are stacked against us, or, a team hadn't lost there in 30, they haven't lost at home in 30 something games, and we could have beat them, and we didn't. So congrats to them, but I didn't come here to be close. So I have work to do, and I will.
We'll start things off with Andy.
What's the status on Tyler Bray? How is he doing?
I just met with the training staff. He's in the team meeting right now, I just had the team meeting. He's in the offensive meeting now. He's going to go and get checked out this afternoon. Usually you guys know how it is. We talk, we assess, and then I kind of find out a little bit more tomorrow, but hopefully he's okay. He's a tough kid. He's had a really great year. We missed him, Andy. Jack did a good job coming in, and it will always be next man up, and we're not going to flinch, but we certainly miss Tyler out there.
We'll go to Rich.
Jeff, let's revisit the tight ends a little bit. Is the combination you have going kind of at least approximate to what Hunter gave you last year?
I think they're a little different than Hunter. But the combination, we certainly like throwing to the tight ends, Rich. But, in our game plan, there's certain plays where you're trying to get the tight end the ball, but a lot of the things just go through a progression. So if the tight ends come open, we throw them the ball. I know Trey had a big game yesterday. Joey had that great catch, so we almost scored a touchdown down the left sideline. I thought they played well, and they're going to continue to get better.
We'll go to Trevor.
Hey, Jeff, we've talked before about Grant Carlson, just what a weapon he is. Just yesterday was one of his better games. Just what have you seen out of him? What makes him such a special guy?
I mean, he just keeps flipping the field for us. I mean, some of those punts were ridiculous. Just overall on special teams, guys. I mean, we got to be playing as well as anybody in the whole country on special teams. Credit to Coach Turn, and I keep saying it. When you watch guys on special teams, it tells you what type of team you have. It's the teams that guys on special teams don't take it as serious. They take plays off because they're only worried about offense and defense. And our guys play just as hard on special teams, if not harder. We block a punt, and it's our job to get points after that. We didn't. But overall in special teams, Connor had another really good outing. If you watch the effort on our field goal blocks and PAT blocks, I mean, TJ Ram almost gets his hands on him multiple times. I mean, there's no quit in this team, which was fun to watch. The effort on the tape, guys, it's as good as there is in the country right now.
We'll go to Kevin.
Hey, Coach, just curious if you got a proper explanation on either the non-offside call or the Jade Williams reversal on the sideline.
I didn't. Got to be careful here. The non-offsides call you saw, right? You could probably talk about it. I can't because I'll get in trouble. The non-offsides call. I mean, you're talking about guys, it's third down and we get sacked. That's a first down and we're in field goal range and it's 16-13. I appreciate you asking that question, but I'm not gonna go down that road. But anybody who wants to know my answer, just turn on the tape and watch that play.
We'll go to Dan.
Coach, Brandon mentioned last night just playing press man against Clemson. What do your DBs have to show you that make you say, like, all right, we can play them man-to-man with our DBs? And is there anything you have to look for even out of your linebackers and your D-line to say, like, we can go one-on-one against those receivers?
Yeah, it's kind of the way they practice against our offense. We do a bunch of 7-on-7 and 1-on-1s each week, and we felt like they were getting better to the point where we felt confident, where we could be more aggressive. Just looking back in that game when we played them last year, I was angry at myself for not being more aggressive with their wideouts. I mean, they're good wideouts and they're big. And you saw how big those guys were, right? But they kept hitting the quick access, easy throws on us. And I wasn't going to coach that way again this game. So we challenged them. Coach Azar did an unbelievable job of getting them ready. Brandon and Eli they played lights out. I mean, there was no separation from those wideouts. They finished violent. They played with great technique. What a day those corners had. I mean, third down stops that they had they did a great job. I appreciate you noticing that because those two deserve a lot of credit for how they played in the game. And Coach Azar did a great job preparing them.
We'll go back to Andy.
Jeff, I know you always say competition is super important at every position. I just want to know, for the quarterback position, is Dennis the guy moving forward, or is there still competition for that QB1 spot going forward?
Dennis is the guy. I appreciate you asking me that question. Dennis is the guy. I mean, Dennis is a good quarterback. He's our leader right now. And he took his team, our team, in Death Valley and came up 11 yards short. He's the guy.
We'll go to Trevor.
I asked Brandon Sebastian last night if the bye week comes at a good time or a bad time. He says a bad time. Do you agree, or how do you see the next 2 weeks unfolding?
I think it comes. You'd certainly love to go into a bye with a win, but I think we're banged up and we need to get healthy. After 5 straight weeks with a long training camp, I think on the schedule it comes at a pretty good time for us to rest mentally and physically. Hopefully get some guys back that we haven't been able to play. We've had 2 really physical games back-to-back weeks, so you certainly love to get a win and go into it. But shoot, we're 4-1, and I think it's a good time for our players and our coaches.
We'll go to Rich.
Jeff, IGM keeps popping up at the top of your defensive chart every game. Just talk about him. Is he just hitting holes, lateral movement?
I think a lot of it has to do with his experience now in the scheme, Rich. Now he's played 5 games. He's comfortable. He's playing faster because he knows what he's doing. The D-line's doing a good job, which is freeing him up. And in our scheme, that guy's going to have a lot of tackles, and he's executing and he's making those tackles. But he's playing fast. He's being physical. He's using his hands well. He's tearing off blocks. He's covering well. He's a really good football player. And I think you're going to see him get better and better as the year goes on. He's a guy I wish we had for a while. He just soaks it all in, works hard. He's becoming a leader. I can't say enough about him.
We're going to take 2 more. First with Kevin.
Coach, I'm just curious about your process after a game like that. Do you jump right into film on the plane, or do you need to kind of, decompress and all that?
It depends. I did not jump in. I saw the game live pretty closely, had a good idea what happened. And I just kind of, sat on the plane, and I didn't watch it on the plane last night. So I'm not going to make it up and pretend I did. Watched it early this morning, multiple times. In my process, win or lose doesn't change. I show our team what we did well, and I show them what we coached well, what we need to coach better, and what they need to do to play better. And if we're going to win going forward, what we have to do to clean up, win or lose. I don't change the process, Kevin, and I never will. It's just a very honest Sunday, regardless, where guys shouldn't take anything personal, and hopefully you learn from it. But I did not watch it on the plane last night.
We'll wrap things up with Dan.
Coach, kind of a two-parter about just the scout guys and the younger guys in a bye week. One is, you've obviously had a chance to see them over the last couple of weeks running against your ones when you can, but for you, is this week about being able to develop them a little bit further and being able to work with those younger guys where you don't have a game this weekend? And number two is, if so, how do you do that?
Yeah, each Sunday, regardless of whether it's a bye week or not, Dan, when we break practice, we keep out the guys who didn't play a lot and we let them play against each other. We either do 7-on-7s or team, or we do pass rush 1-on-1. So we'll do a lot of that this week to try to get the guys who haven't got as many reps, more reps, to continue to bring them along and develop them so that hopefully they can help us out later in the year, where we won't do as much with the guys who have been getting a lot of reps. We'll kind of try to get their legs back and their bodies back feeling good for the second half of the season. If that makes sense.
Great, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time today. We will see you on Thursday.
Thanks, guys. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you in the week. Appreciate you guys coming on again.